For this video, I will talk about Super Ghouls and Ghosts, the third game in Capcom's highly difficult action platforming series Ghosts and Goblins, and my favorite Ghosts and Goblins game. The premise of Super Ghouls and Ghosts is that the knight Arthur is visiting Princess Prim's castle when she is captured by an organization of demons led by a high-ranking demon named Sardius. Arthur sets out to rescue the princess while fighting hordes of Sardius's demons along the way. I will now talk about the gameplay. The Ghosts and Goblins series is known for its unbelievably high difficulty, and this game does not skimp on difficulty. That said, the difficulty and stage design are both fair, and cheap deaths are usually rare. I usually find that if I die in the game, it's because of my mistakes and not because of glitches or design flaws. The combat is great thanks to the great and varied weapons, which give depth, strategy, and replay value to the game. The weapon the player starts off with, the lance, is a great weapon to start off with, and my second favorite weapon because it flies in a straight line and does good damage. My favorite weapon is the dagger because of its speed and the fact that it flies in a straight line too. The one item I personally don't like is the tri-blade because of its lack of range and flight pattern. The armor system is a great feature. Basically, how the armor system works is that Arthur can upgrade his standard steel armor to bronze armor, and can upgrade the bronze armor to golden armor. Weapons and armor are contained in treasure chests hidden in the stages. The armor system makes exploring for treasure chests rewarding and makes fighting demons more fun, thanks to the weapon upgrades given by both advanced armors and the shields and magic spells offered by the golden armor. Golden armor is easily one of my favorite things in the game, not only because of its combat enhancements, but also because of the sweet bonus of Arthur looking amazing in the armor with the awesome helmet and the cape. The play control is smooth and easy to learn. Arthur walks at a good pace, his jumping is smooth, his double jump is a great convenience, and mid-air combat is well executed. The double jumping is great for 3 reasons. First, it makes moving to or from platforms more convenient. Second, it allows Arthur to change the direction he moves through the air. And third, the second jump can boost the power of Arthur's equipped weapon. The mid-air combat is great because Arthur can change which direction he faces mid-air without disrupting his aerial movement, giving convenience to fighting while airborne. One minor problem I have with the gameplay is that if Arthur walks off an edge, he falls straight down and can't jump, which can lead to annoying deaths or annoying hits. I love that the game has a spooky atmosphere, but at the same time doesn't take itself too seriously. This is good if the player wants to play a spooky game that isn't too depressing. The great art style goes well with both the spooky elements and the campy elements. On a related note, if Arthur's armor is damaged, the armor breaks and Arthur is stripped to his boxer shorts. This adds to the campy side in that he looks funny in this state, and to the spooky side in that he'd have to be brave to fight with no armor on, let alone in his boxers. Just to give a heads up, if Arthur is hit without armor on, he turns into a skeleton and dies. This may be disturbing to some players. I personally don't mind the death sequence. Now on to the stages. The stages are colorful and fantastical, and the settings all fit well in a medieval horror-inspired story. The stages are also well designed and have fairly placed checkpoints. The music is well composed and adds an unsettling atmosphere that adds to the fun of the game. The enemies are well drawn and fit the game's atmosphere and charm. In addition, the enemies add fun, challenge, and intensity to the game, while for the most part not being too frustrating. The only enemies I don't like fighting are the red gargoyles called Red Reamers. I like their designs and their attacks, but their unpredictable attack pattern and movement pattern make them frustrating to fight. I will now talk about the bosses. The bosses are imaginative and intimidating, and their great music adds intensity and feelings of intimidation to the battles. My favorite bosses include the first stage's Cockatrice, the third stage's Deathcrawler, which circles Arthur and is a great use of Mode 7, stage 4's Hydra, a series regular boss named Astaroth, and the similarly designed Nebaroth. Now I will talk about the final battle and the lead up to the final battle. Before I get into the final battle, I have mixed but mostly positive feelings about what the player has to do to fight Sardius. Without going into all the details, the player has to play through the game twice in a row and complete Stage 6 in the second loop with a specific weapon to get to Sardius. The weapon itself, the Goddess Bracelet, takes some getting used to, but is a fun and practical weapon to use, so no frustration there. I tend not to like playing 2 straight playthroughs of a game because I'm usually burned out of a game at the end of one playthrough and need a break before I can enjoy a replay of the game. That said, Super Ghouls and Ghosts' second loop avoids being tedious for a few reasons. The stages are fun, the difficulty is higher in the second loop, and the bracelet becomes available in the second loop. I already like the stage clear theme, but hearing it after completing stage 6 with the bracelet equipped on the second loop is very satisfying because all conditions to fight Sardius are met in this case, and the final battle against Sardius is so much fun. The final battle against Sardius is my favorite battle in the game because of Sardius's imaginative design, his towering height, his creative and intimidating attack pattern, the lightning flashes, and his theme, my favorite song in the game. The song goes well with a final battle, fits the atmosphere of the game, and goes well with an intimidating and dangerous giant monster. I will now talk about the ending. The ending music is satisfying to hear and goes well with the end of a medieval horror-inspired story and the end of a difficult journey. I like the cast of characters segment because it is a good retrospective of the journey and a good way to show the player how far they have come. My favorite part of the cast segment is Arthur's part because his clip pauses as he casts his lightning spell and he looks heroic as he casts the spell. My only problem with the cast segment is that not all bosses appear in the cast segment, but that's just a nitpick. I also love the credit sequence because of Arthur being shown taking the princess back to her castle via horseback, which I find gentlemanly. Overall, Super Ghouls and Ghosts remains a strong entry in Capcom's great Ghosts and Goblins series thanks to its well-designed high difficulty, great weapons, great armor system, imaginative enemies and environments, and great and fitting soundtrack. That concludes my review of Super Ghouls and Ghosts. Take care.